I started to dance about 3 years ago, and the way that the Lord kind of brought me into that is a little funny. It took a while. I cared too much about the judgment of others, and it was really hard for me to step out in front of everyone and just worship in that way. But as a young child, I enjoyed to worship. I was never restricted from the freedom in worship. There was always such a great freedom in it. And I would jump and shout and clap my hands with all my friends. We weren't like dancing, twirling around or anything like that, but we were really expressing ourselves to the Lord, and I never felt judgment for that. So thankfully I never had to experience that religious battle of stepping out and moving, as an expression of worship. So I'm very, very blessed for that. But when I did step out, the freedom that I felt in it was a freedom that I'd never experienced before. It was, I don't know, I finally stopped caring about what everybody thought of me, and I fully abandoned myself, fully surrendered to Him, and just praised His name and thankfulness for everything that He had brought me through in my life. And I just poured myself out to Him and the love that I had for Him. And through that, what brought that freedom was the Spirit of the Lord. So what brought that freedom was the Spirit of the Lord and His presence. And when we begin to worship Him, what we're doing is we're ushering in His presence. And in 2 Corinthians 3:17, it says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom. And that freedom is made available to us through His presence. So responding to Him from your spirit to His Spirit allows you to experience that freedom. So to fully respond to Him, you have to stop worrying about everything else around you and fully respond to Him and only Him. I don't know, some people, they worry about, the judgment of others, or, there's always different things that restrict you. But for me, it was the judgment of others. And so I had to get through that barrier for me to fully surrender to Him. God desires worship of the highest kind. And when David worshiped in Psalm 103, verse 1, it said he cried out to God, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that's within me." So what he did was he was pouring himself out, everything that he had in him, all the love, everything that he had in him for the Lord. He was pouring it out to Him. And sometimes worship, when you're worshiping God, you're not only just thanking Him for everything that He's done for you, but you're pouring your heart out to Him for the things that you need, for your desires, for your family. And through that, your worship can break things in your life. Like, for me, that it broke that care about the judgment of others. It broke it, and through that, I experienced freedom not only in my worship, not only at church, but at home and in my relationships. It was a process, but it was great, and so yeah, God desires the worship, that kind of worship, where you're pouring yourself out to Him and you're fully surrendered and fully abandoned yourself, and you're just focusing on Him and you're responding to Him. And that's what He wants. That's what His heart desires through worship. Once you experience that freedom and you're worshiping Him in your spirit, and you're pouring your heart out to Him and you're focusing on Him, that's your true heart. So that's the truth. You're worshiping Him in spirit and in truth. And that is very important, especially if you're a part of the dance ministry. You need to be dancing and ministering in your spirit and not of yourself. That's very, 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 very important. John 4:23 is talking about worshiping in spirit and in truth, and it says, God is a spirit, and those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. If you're at your seat and you're worshiping the Lord, and you're looking around at everybody else, and you're not sure, because I feel like a lot of people do it, and I don't think that they're aware of it. And so I'm not saying that this is something someone does because they just want to act or pretend. I don't think anyone really wants to pretend to worship, but sometimes they don't have that freedom, and it's hard for them to worship. So they're looking around at everyone else, and they're just, oh, I should be doing this. So they're raising their hands, or they're swaying, or they're just standing there. And so that's not worshiping in truth. And so that goes back to the freedom. If you don't have that freedom, then it is going to be hard for you to worship in your spirit and in truth. So it's important that you understand the importance of getting that connection with God in your spirit and opening your heart up to him so that you can. And if you don't know how to do that, just check your heart and ask God to show you what it is that's restricting you, what it is that you need to be set free from. Pray about it. And if you're still not if you're still not sure, if you're not understanding what it is that you need to do, just reach out to someone. And I promise you, someone will be there to help you understand what you're supposed to be feeling in that. Because a lot of people, I know my heart is for people to understand the importance of worship and what it truly is. And that's why I felt that I needed to go over this tonight, and why I felt the Lord led me to give this tonight, was because some people just don't understand, that freedom. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of that with y'all tonight. When we worship, we're not just praising him for everything that he's done for us. We're celebrating his victory. It's about celebrating his victory and everything that he has done. It's awesome. He is a good Father. And I am so blessed to be a part of this dance ministry. And I cannot wait to see where the Lord takes us next. And I'm excited for you guys to watch, to be a part of it, to learn from it. I'm just happy that we can impart to you what the Lord is giving us in this. And I pray that everybody begins to feel that freedom, that they, if they need to, they seek the Lord in it, and they find whatever it is that is restricting them. I pray that any religious barriers be broken right now in Jesus' name, to allow you to have that freedom to worship him in spirit and in truth, because it's so much different. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so much different than just I don't know, it's just different not having that freedom. That freedom is important. It's vital. You have to have it to truly worship him from your heart, to truly be able to open your heart up to him. You have to have that freedom. Anything that restricts you from worshiping him has got to go, to the fullest extent of your being. Anything that restricts you from pouring it all out to him, for giving him all that is within you, it's got to go, And so I pray that everybody watching tonight, if you have experienced that, I pray that it's broken, and that you find that freedom.